everybody, and welcome to one more edition of LM's Investopedia, our program to cover interesting topics, some new developments, some niche areas, identifying new topics, and the impact, of course, on the different companies, the impact on their stock market valuations, etc. So, in the previous episodes which we have done till now, we've covered some very exciting topics like ESG, covering the environment, social and governance agendas, and sustainable investing in different industries. At the same time, we've also covered hotel and the tourism sector. We've covered vineyards business and the also the automobile dealerships, etc. So some very exciting concepts have been covered under LM's Investopedia. And in continuation of the hotel and the tourism theme today, we will be discussing another exciting area where there seems to be a lot of potential and a lot of promise. That is the cruise tourism. Now, I think you must have all seen in movies, or you must have seen in various travel-related journals, etc., about cruise tourism. But during the pandemic, I think there was a virtual collapse in discretionary spending. So we've discussed also how tourism, hotels, aviation, etc. had been very badly impacted by the pandemic. Lack of demand, social distancing, etc. All these factors is something which everyone is aware of. This has also impacted the cruise tourism industry, because the cruises were virtually, they were lying empty, and this is a capital intensive business, because you have to invest a huge amount of money in the cruises, and it's not only capex oriented, but it is also opex oriented. That means there is a huge operational and maintenance cost which is associated with the running of cruises, as even if the cruise is lying idle, it has a huge cost attached to it. So having gone through the entire painful period of the poor demand, or virtually non-existent demand, where the cruises were just lying on the ports, I think there is a ray of hope. Again, we are seeing the pent-up demand which has begun to emerge. And why so? We've seen till now a lot of cruises operating from international ports, but India, with its growing affluence, with the urbanization, etc., and more disposable incomes, is also attracting the cruise tourism. So I think a lot of insights and to discuss, a lot of companies to discuss. With me today, joining me is Bhavin, who is the senior managerial personnel at Latin Manarlal. Bhavin, welcome to the show, and he is going to brief us more on the cruise tourism concepts. Bhavin, please welcome and kindly take us ahead.
Thank you, Nirav. Hello, everybody. Been some while. Please excuse us for a little long gap, but in our constant endeavor, it has always been that something interesting, something unusual has to catch our attention in terms of any observations that we come across. So in our constant efforts, we try to pick up something what as a interesting thing that comes in our observation. And interestingly, like Nirav mentioned, and we just happen to come across these certain facts in our observations when it comes to tourism, right? I mean, so cruise has always been one of the most preferred, one of the most aspired tourism options. As cruises, people want that luxury holidays, cruising experiences with different destinations and all of that. So we just came across these different facts that earlier how it has evolved pre and post pandemic, and how it had got hit during pandemic. So earlier it was before pandemic. If you go to see, cruise was, of course, is always, and even today, considered as one of the luxurious and aspired way of touring and visiting different destinations. But now, the dynamics what have changed is not only like a 2-3 days or a 7-day cruising just for a holidaying purpose, but a lot of corporate events, off-sites, outdooring, lot of wedding events, lot of celebrations. All of these also have kind of come into the picture, where people are wanting to take on a cruise with limited audiences. Of course, how we saw, for example, in our previous one of our previous episodes, when we talked about the tourism, where we interestingly observed that tourism or the hotel occupancy rate has not only gone short up because of I'm going on a holiday or a vacation, but also because of corporate events and weddings and all of these. Similarly, the shift as a preference, or the gear shifting as a preference, the choice making thing is happening, that where people are choosing cruises also now. That it's, say for example, my 50th birthday, and I want to pull in 50 people, 100 people, let's go cruising. So lot of celebrations, lot of corporate events, outdoors and all of that. Cruising has become one of the very preferential choice, where people are preferring that.
I think it could become the next type of destination wedding also.
Absolutely. There are small, very close group events, such events like even that could be like a white wedding, a very close group, very immediate family and friends. The cruise is becoming a preferred option. And earlier, a family or a group wanted to go for a cruise, you used to think of, where the cruise starts from. Maybe I'll have to travel to Singapore, Dubai, or the other side, US, Canada and all of these. But I think now with increasing demand, preferences, as Indian crowd also, cruises have started coming and arriving at Bombay, India, and at lot of like and you have lot of cruises options even from India also, within India. So what is happening, that from like a short 3-day 4-day like a Bombay Goa cruise, starting from here it is taking you somewhere out of India. So it has become more accessible, and every age group is now thinking of going for a cruise. Recently, someone from my family, cousin said also, we've not done a cruise from really long. Now since it has come near, let's plan, with the close family and friends, let's plan a short cruise trip. So I think as a when it comes to tourism stocks, like we were discussing, that Thomas, SOTC, they've been aggressive in kind of cracking deals and getting packages for a lot of audiences. So I think this can add, earlier probably the revenue contribution in these stocks or companies from the cruise particularly might be very, very minuscule, but now probably you can expect or see them going up or contributing quite a bit. So I think one can keep a watch. Of course, Nirav can share more insights in that perspective whenever at the right time it becomes, one can have a look. But yeah, this was something that, to our interesting observation, which we came across, just thought to share with you all, and one can track it accordingly. So accordingly you can take it up, and probably how recommendation or whatever that you may feel at the right time, people can keep it on their radar or a watch list sort of thing.
Yeah. So thanks Bhavin for your interesting insights. And just to sum up, there's been a lot of interest by the international cruise liners, whether it is the Royal Caribbean or the Costa cruises. And an interesting observation that Virgin Voyager, which is belongs to the Virgin Atlantic Group, Sir Richard Branson, it is a premium liner which is going to set sail from India. So it's going to they've shown a lot of interest from India, considering the demand potential which is there in the market. So this is one positive thing. The second positive thing is that Indians have been they've changed their entire outlook as far as the vacations is also concerned. Yeah. They are willing to explore new destinations. They are willing to go in for minications. A recent survey has pointed out that Indians are they prefer 2 to 3 minications during the year. during the entire year. So they want to take small breaks after being stressed out from the daily schedules and their hectic schedules. And at the same time, people are also opting for staycations. People are also opting for going for luxury resorts. At the same time, homestays are also becoming very popular. So it's like a very diverse kind of a market which we are seeing in India. So I think cruise tourism should be no different in this. So people will definitely like to try out different options. I think as far as what Bhavin just said, that it's something which is very secular. It's basically all age groups are attracted to this. So I just like to point out one thing, that there was actually a Bhagavad Saptah which was held on a cruise liner.
Yeah.
So, and it was very well attended by a lot of senior citizens. Where they attended the Saptah and they had a very good time on the cruise, because as we all know that cruise has they basically spoil you for choice in terms of the cuisine, the quality of the cuisine, in terms of the facilities which are available for entertainment, in terms of the gyms, the swimming pools, the casinos, etc. So there's a lot to keep people occupied and try out new things.
And it adds to a lot of different experience even for the senior citizens.
Yes.
What came to our this thing, like Bhagavad Saptah and all that. It's very interesting and a different experience that being senior citizens, they have a lot of time devoted to religious things and all of that. At the same time, out of the location in middle of the ocean, people are doing that as well as they are enjoying different destinations and views and scenics.
So it's like spirituality, religion, plus entertainment. So a lot of combos at work, but from a stock market perspective, of course, we'll keep our eyes on Thomas Cook, a stock where a company which is doing a lot of travel related planning, etc., and a few other stocks who could be potential beneficiaries out of this trend. So I think a lot of things to discuss, but time constraints of course permit us no further. But I think we'll appreciate your feedback on our program. Do write back to us with your views on our program. And finally, I hand over to Bhavin for the concluding remarks.
Yes. So in our constant endeavor, thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned. We'll in our constant process that we keep looking for something interesting, and the first thing we think of is sharing with you all. So stay tuned. Thank you very much. Happy weekend. Take care.
Thank you.